Welcome, my name is Johan and I'm the founder and creator of the Reality Method. This video is about what I do, why I decided to put this out in the marketplace to open it up. Reality is a rather big thing. It's a vast concept. We've got millions, billions of people on this planet. We've got millions of subjects that we all deal with, and the idea with Reality Method is that there's a natural distribution of who gets to participate in which subjects. You're interested in certain things, I'm interested in different things. And as a result, your value in the marketplace, be it either money or respect or social contribution, will be different for that particular topic or subject than I would be for the ones that I'm interested in. And the question now becomes, how do we use the things that we love, the things that we're interested in, the things that we are passionate about? How do we use that to create a better life for ourselves first? You know, Leo Tolstoy said that everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. And the idea with Reality Method is to start there. First, see what your capacities are like. Have a look at which of those capacities you're interested in. And if you do that, then the idea of the natural distribution of things, the distribution of interest, suggests through the Reality Method that you will actually improve the world one little bit at a time because you've improved yourself. So it's important that we start there. You know, everybody's so kind of fixed up and with their job, and yet you see a few people that has such fun every day because they do what they love and they're interested in what they're doing and they love to contribute, not for contribution's sake. It's just that the level of input, the level of contribution that they have for that topic or reality creates for them natural value in the marketplace. And if we think about how we've grown as a species, it's been linear. It's been one step at a time. And the change happens over a very long time. The problem is, or the opportunity, depends on how you look at it, and they can go both ways, of course, with the accepted suggestion that they will go where everybody kind of is okay with, as most things happen. But technology is catching up, and the next 10 to 15 years has opened up an opportunity for humanity to reset their realities, to say, instead of me just doing my job, and you have to because you got to pay the bills, you know, you got to do your chores and stuff, so you've got to do that still, but in the meantime, that extra hour, that extra 2 hours, that extra 3 hours for those who's really interested to change their reality, what can I do with that? And how can I apply so that when technology's caught up with us, how can I use that to change my life, to change my job, to change how I contribute to society? And I think that it's important that we do this on a global scale, because the hassle is that essentially that distribution of interest and the associated distribution of value really is available only for a few. And of course Reality Method uses this as a shape, and it's fairly symmetrical. It probably, if we look at a financial point of view, probably looks more like this. That exact same thing. Where everything that you're interested in, the distribution of this, if we had the statistics, the way that changes, I show it like this because it's an easy way for us to understand. It's a nice way for us to look, and statistics not always available. But basically, that distribution of wealth probably looks something like that. And on the other side then, as soon as this changes, then that changes with it. That's kind of the idea with the Reality Method. that picture could be seen in a couple of ways. But basically, the amount of value that these people have, these few people have so much value, and everyone else has to share all that part. And so it is with chaos, and therefore what we can see is that all these people that have so little value in the marketplace with regards to finance, for argument's sake, also has a massive opportunity to participate, or their reality, the surroundings that they're in, has an opportunity to be chaotic. So what we want to do, the idea with this is of reality method, is really to say, look, what can I do with a simple shape? This simple thing that basically says everything that I am introduced to, that the business is introduced to, that a corporate or a country is introduced to, that it cannot control. Everything that you are capable of as a person, as a business, as a corporate, as a country, everything that you're capable of, and the combination of these two things, what you're bombarded with and how you react to it, how capable you are to control that, if you combine these two things, it'll give you a value in the marketplace. And you'll see a little at the bottom here, lots at the top. So that's why so few people has a lot and so many people have so little. And there's an idea of the future of jobs coming through in conversations all over the net now. And people that's looking into the future and say, how do we make the future better for us? Now, you can't predict the future, but through reality method, I'm suggesting that over time, and time moves that way, have a look in the videos and we'll explain more about this. But basically, you can suggest what your future looks like. It is so amazing to see the Falcon Heavy rocket from SpaceX launch 2 days ago. And the amazing thing about, I'm getting goosebumps here, so the amazing thing about that is that they actually created an animation of what that should look like if everything, irrespective of what can happen, if everything that they've done works perfectly, what would that look like? And the animation was so close to what actually worked. I've loaded a video because I got so excited I had to create a video in my humble understanding of everything that's going on there. I had to create a video on that links through a subject of goal setting, for argument's sake. So why reality method? Why do I want to share this? I think it's critical that we understand that the amount of people at the bottom here has to get information that relates to their capacity so that we can give the few people, most won't be interested. The distribution of interest works fairly constantly. Most won't be interested to contribute on a massive scale. But you know what? The diamonds in the rough, we've got to give them the opportunity to have a look and understanding of what their reality, what their capacity could be if they spent the midnight oil, if they looked at different ways of doing the same thing, if they decided to change their life for the better. And I'm talking here in general with regards to reality method. We're talking in 6 areas. You can have a minimum of 3. The design actually works to fit, well, here we go, to essentially fit subjects. There's the reality method. So we've got health life, and then emotional life, and then social, mental life, and then social life, and financial life, and lifestyle. And all these things kind of create you. So Fibonacci numbers or the golden ratio, if you start with this as a core and you expand that towards the future, which kind of goes that way, and you expand that process, then you can kind of see how that Fibonacci number can develop, or you can develop your opportunity for life and expansion. And it's important for me to start sharing this concept that you can break out, that you can use the tools and the technologies that's coming and available already to change your life. And this thing has become a passion to say, it's also important to share this to as many people as possible. Now, right now, I've got a kind of a huge course, not a huge course, it's a 90-day thing, 3-month stuff, on total change for me, to start my process to see where I want to go with my life. And at this point in time, that thing has a cheap price for rich people and a very expensive price for poor people. But the idea is to bring that thing into the marketplace at the cheapest possible price. We have to start with something so I can afford to fund, you know, more and better and so forth things. We also are looking at bringing in experts and populating their knowledge on particular topics in this thing. And we'll hopefully I'll introduce that over the next 90 to 120 days, and we can start sharing that. And it's a huge technological platform, but it's something that you can use. So why start this? it's important that we, and by we I say everybody, but me finding this simple way of understanding how my reality works, and it works pretty good, I thought of taking this to the world. It's above my comfort zone, it's scary, I get a knot in my stomach as I say this online, because a lot will be expected. And will we be able to do that? I don't know. But it's easy enough for a 5-year-old to understand, and it's easy enough to have a discussion with an expert in their field, which I have nothing about, based on this, to simply say, but where's the value? And I can understand the value that they want to create with their product or their service. I don't have to understand what they're doing, but I can appreciate what contributions they're making and how that could impact the future. And perhaps in that discussion I can see how that applies to my future. Even though I don't understand what they're doing, even though I don't have the depth of knowledge that they have, I can participate in the concept through understanding something as simple as a shape on how my reality works, how their reality works, and potentially how the two mix in future. So that's why it's important. It has to happen. Somebody, and there's a lot of people that does that, but there's so many people that don't get access to these videos, and it's important that we create something that shows them what their life looks like before we can expect them to participate in what we can suggest for our future, what we can imagine for our future, and for those in the know that understands what that future will look like with AI and automated vehicles and robotic doctors and changing humanity and singularity and cryptocurrencies and blockchain. We cannot predict the future, but we can suggest it. And the suggestions that I've come across does not include that group of people to the potential or the capacity that I think they should be included in. I think in the future you will either create or you will be entertained. And over the next 10 to 15 years, the opportunity exists for you to create your future first. And because of that, because you're changing your life towards your capacity, your value in the marketplace will increase. It is suggested exponentially. So the future, I don't think, will grow in the linear fashion that it has. And it has grown like this over time. So that picture 10 years ago will look like that picture today. But I think the future will be growing exponentially, which means we're dealing with something like this where a few people has access to even more. And that's my interest for the reality method, is to assist these people to participate in technologies that other people are creating, to improve their capacity and help them up this ladder, potentially even participating on a level that that you could not have even thought about. So that's my why. This is why share reality method. That's my why. It's a scary thing that I have no clue as to how it will turn out, but all I know is that it's important, and this is perhaps the first part. Also, I've used it for my business model in some amazing things, but I'm not going to share that here. So hopefully that'll come to play and I can help even more. That's Johan for Reality Method as to why I feel that I need to share Reality Method. Simple as it is in this complicated world of ours, but hopefully you participate. And if you're an expert, please contact me, because can't provide expert knowledge on everything, but we can populate it into whatever it is that we're building. So it's Johan for Reality Method as always. Stay entertained and create your world and enjoy the journey.